This week, we get to meet someone who is passionate about encouraging women who love creating things in DIY. So put your tools down, guys. It's time to meet a maker. Welcome back to Make or Break, guys. I'm Sarah, and today we get to talk to Caitlin from Pleasant Hill Homes. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel.
So my name is Caitlin, and I am the creative behind Pleasant Hill Home. And we live outside of DeSmet, South Dakota, which if you've read the books, Little House on the Prairie or heard of Laura Ingalls Wilder, we actually live 20 minutes from her homestead. And actually the farm that you see in the background is our family farm. My husband is a fifth generation farmer, and the farm has been in the family for over 125 years now. And actually that's where the name Pleasant Hill comes from, which I don't talk about that often, but his great-great-great-grandfather came over from Germany, took the train, was headed out west, and it broke down 10 miles south of us. So he got off and made his way up here, and then he dubbed this area Pleasant Hill. And so that's how the name came about. But how I got started, I actually used to be in sales and was on the road all of the time and really used DIY and crafting as kind of like an outlet for like wanting to clear my head after being on the road all the time. And also my dad is really good with tools and my mom is super creative and crafty. And so I got help and learned from him and took some of her help with like the creativity aspect, put it together. And then I just kind of jumped in with both feet and was like, why not? And started fixing up and renovating things myself. And really that's kind of how it took off. But when I married my husband, that's really where all of this came about and my account really was born.
Oh my gosh, I grew up watching Little House on the Prairie. That is so cool. Also, that is a huge undertaking. What tool is the most unsung hero in your shop?
I would have to say probably the circular saw as well as my orbital sander. The circular saw I think is a really, really great tool to have, especially like when you're first getting started, because you can cut just about anything with it. And then, well, actually it was one of my very first saw. Also, I would say the orbital sander, just because you know that when you get to the orbital sander, you're almost completed with a project. And I don't know about you, but I tend to be in the 95% club, and like just getting to that point, it was just like, I know I'm almost done.
Yes, Team Circ Saw. I will literally pick out projects that I know I can use my circular saw because it's my go-to. All right, name another maker that you love to follow.
Another maker that inspires me, I am super inspired by Nicole at Hill House Diaries. I don't know how she does it. She's got 3 little girls and she always seems to have 3 or 4 projects going at a time, and yet she finishes and completes every single one beautifully and is such a good teacher. I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to her for help, and she's been able to help me through situations I've gotten myself into. I also have to say I really love and enjoy following Mariah from Rustic Homestead. She as well is just so creative and crafty and good with tools, but she loves to find those Facebook market finds, which I as well completely love doing myself. Who doesn't love a good thrifted find? And she flips furniture that she finds. And then I'd also have to say I really enjoy following Haley at Crawford & Company. She just has such a good eye for home decor and the overall design and aesthetic of a home, and I truly look to her for insight and inspiration and all the things.
Oh my gosh, I got to actually meet Nicole for Meet a Maker not that long ago. She is such a sweetheart and I love following her page. What is your all-time favorite project?
As I mentioned, he's a 5th generation farmer, and he was currently living in this house that we are in today. And that is probably my biggest and my most favorite project that I've ever done. We took his house and really wanted to make it a home for us and a home for our family. So we literally took the roof off the house, we changed the floor plan, we renovated bathrooms, we updated the kitchen, we tore down walls. I mean, we moved the front door, we added windows. I mean, we really did everything that you could possibly think of in a home renovation. We did it. And a lot of times people actually think that our house is a new build when it's really a fixer-upper or a flip. And it's definitely my favorite project today.
All right, Caitlin, what are you working on next?
So right now I am actually working on the never-ending stock tank pool. So last summer I decided to put in a stock tank pool for my kids and actually myself and family to enjoy, and had this idea to like stencil the bottom of the stock tank. And really, you aren't supposed to paint the inside of a stock tank pool. And so I took these black rubber mats, painted them, stenciled them with like this cute hexagon pattern, all the things. And 3 days after the pool was filled up with water, it completely peeled. And so I was bound and determined to find a solution. And so I have started over. And I started over probably like towards the end of the summer, and am just now getting around to finishing. And so hopefully in the next like week or so, I will have the stock tank done because I found a solution and it's gonna work. So you'll have to follow along for that.
Oh my gosh, I've seen so many creators make these and they can be so unique and different from each other, but I really, really love them. I'm excited to see how this turns out for you. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to get to talk with you and learn a little bit more about your page.
It was so great getting to talk with you, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, guys, I want to thank Heart for sponsoring this episode and reminding us we can build anything we can imagine if we do it with heart. Break's over, go make something.